why should Christians care about voter ID? But two, why should Christians care about voting, period? If it, you know, I sometimes hear like our job is to preach the gospel and this world's not our home, and, you know, heaven's our home, and we use all these justifications. And George Barna, before the 2024 election, nationally said that it looked like, and I don't know all the details of his analysis, so don't ask me questions about them specifically, but it looked like around 40% of Bible-believing church-going Christians would not show up at the polls in November. That's a big number. It's not as big a number here in a small state like Maine, but it's a big number nationally. So talk to me about why Christians should care about voter ID, but then more broadly, why should they care about voting? Why should they show up at the polls?
I think, you know, that it's important for us to get out to vote and participate in elections, because we should use our, you know, worldview and our personal beliefs in bettering society and bettering mankind and helping other folks by electing leaders that share our values, and folks that have similar worldview as us, where government can be limited so that you know, families can thrive, that, you know, church and Christians can exercise their faith freely without infringement of ever so, you know, expanding government that wants to do away with that. In past societies, you see that as more and more power consolidates in a government, then they usually turn on God's people, view it as a threat, and I think we've seen that in America somewhat. Thankfully, we're in a democratic system still, and that's a good thing, and that's why we should exercise our rights, like our right to vote, because if we don't, then, you know, the danger is that we'll lose it, lose our ability to make an influence by way of voting, and that's a lot easier than picking up, you know, rifles and going to war, like, you know, centuries past, where folks had to reclaim their rights by bloodshed. Here in America, we don't have to do that. We can fight for what we believe by the ballot box, and then that goes right into why we need voter ID, you know, to protect our vote.